If you want to find out how to make money raising rabbits, then stick around because this video is for you. Alright, so my name is Anissa.
And I am John Dell.
There are a number of ways that you can make money raising rabbits, and that's what we're talking about today. We have eight ways you can make money raising rabbits.
Alright, and most definitely the now come where rabbits is concerned. I have some questions for Anissa, and those questions will enlighten you and myself because I am just as clueless as some of you, right? So number one, the first question that I have is about kids. How long you need to raise your kids before you could sell them to eat?
All right, so that is actually the first way that you can make money is by selling kits, right? So just in case you're not sure, kits is what we call young rabbits. It's called kits for short, but it's actually kittens. A baby rabbit is called a kitten, right? So
I'm asking no question today, but you're explaining before I ask.
I'm trying to improve the thing here. Right? So yeah, so you can sell kits, you can breed rabbits and sell by the kits, and kits you generally will sell between 6 to 8 weeks. You sell them 6 to 8 weeks. You don't want to sell them anything less than 6 weeks. Some people will not sell before 8 weeks because you want to be able to give the kids a chance to nurse from their mother, right? And in nursing, just like with humans, they will receive nutrients and antibodies and stuff that will help them survive. If you take them from their mother before that, you'll have a lot of your fertility rate will be pretty high. So it's between 6 to 8 weeks. You can sell kits from 6 to 8 weeks, and that is one way you can make money by selling kits. So within you breed your rabbits, they take a month to kindle, and then you sell them 2 months later. So within, let's say, about 3 months after you breed, you could start making some money.
All right. So by the term kits, I guess that they would still be young, they would still be small. You could slaughter them to eat at that stage or no?
You like eating pigeon? It's like slaughtering a pigeon. I mean, you could eat it, but it has barely anything on the bone.
It won't do anything for you.
No, it won't have anything on the bone. I mean, if you're stranded out in the forest
and you have no choice.
Yeah, no choice. If a little kitten passes in front of you, well, go for it.
But so most likely the people that will be interested in purchasing kits will be people that looking to get a little head start on a business. And them kind of thing.
Yeah, that is an option. People also purchase kits for their children because they're small. That's when people find them the cutest at that age. So most likely be parents purchasing rabbits for their children, and people who want to have as pets, or people who want to get started in the business but don't want to have to wait the month for the rabbits to kindle. Right? So that is one avenue. Sell the kits. You get them out faster, you feed them for a shorter period of time, so that's the way you actually kind of reduce your production cost because you don't have to feed them as much, because within that time they will still be nursing from their mother and they won't be eating that much feed.
Alright, informative information.
Yeah, so
alright,
that's an option.
Point 2, breeders, right?
Right, you know what a breeder is?
I am guessing a breeder is 2 rabbits coming together.
Yeah, breed. We breed, not breathe. There's no. Right? So
you're corny today, boy. You're not corny the last time, but you're corny today.
Yeah, so breeders. You can sell breeders. Now the thing with breeders is it means that you would be growing out your rabbits for longer. So if it is you have quality rabbits and you decide you want to sell breeding stock to other farmers who want to breed rabbits, you can sell breeders.
It have different quality of rabbits.
We get into that.
Right,
That'll be the next point I'm making, right?
Russian.
Russian. Right? So with breeders, generally you'll sell breeders say from 5 months go, because at the 5-month mark is where rabbits would be considered adults and will be ready to breed. Most people don't actually breed them at 5 months, they'll wait 6 to 7 months, but you can start selling them as breeders from 5 months onwards, which means that you would have to feed these rabbits and take care of them for 5 months. But in doing so, it means that you will sell them at a higher price than you would for a kit. It will obviously cost more than a kit, right? Because there's more time would have been devoted, more money would have been invested into feed and that kind of thing. So you could sell them for a higher price.
A BMW and a Porsche could never cost the same price.
Okay, all right. So the third point you brought up, different quality of rabbits. That is another avenue that you could look at to make money. So point number three, you can look at selling rare breeds. And what I mean by rare breeds is you'll be looking to sell breeds that not a lot of people sell, not a lot of people have. Yes, that's a thing. Okay. So just like your BMW and your Porsche, not everybody would have it, right? So you can look into selling rare breeds. Sometimes it may not be a rare breed, but it'll be a rare color. So for instance, a lot of people who sell rabbits as pets would look at selling rare breeds. So things like lops, Angoras.
That's no. You had to explain. It was going good all the time. You had to explain. Once you started using them fancy word, I, along with the rest of the world, don't know. We're clueless.
Alright, so a lop would be like Holland lop is a good example. A Holland lop is a breed of rabbits. It is a dwarf rabbit, so it's a small breed. It will not grow the same size that a New Zealand would, right? So New Zealand is a common breed of rabbit for the meat producers, right? So you can sell lops, Holland lops, dwarf breed rabbits, more geared towards the pet industry. You can sell lion heads, is another breed of rabbit. But those type of rabbits, including Angoras as well too, because they're not as common, they would cost more. So whereas you would sell if you were to sell a New Zealand white rabbit, for instance, if you were to sell a New Zealand white kit, let's say depending on the age that you choose to sell at, and depending on the quality of the breed, so if it is a pure breed New Zealand white rabbit, it will cost more than if you have a New Zealand white rabbit that doesn't come from pure stock, doesn't have a pedigree, or if it's a mutt, a mixed rabbit. The pure breeds will always cost more than the mutts, right? So if you have quality pure breed New Zealand white rabbits, you can sell for a higher price. So a pure breed New Zealand white will cost a kit, let's say at 8 weeks old, you can sell a pure breed New Zealand white for, at 8 weeks, let's say $150. Whereas if you have a mixed New Zealand white, or you can't prove that it's a pure breed New Zealand white,
for less.
you can about $60, right? That's the difference. Now, if you go for the rare breeds, you sell, say for example, a Holland lop at 8 weeks, you could be looking at say $1,000. $1,000 at 8 weeks. If, however, that same Holland lop has special colors, so if it has like tri-color, it has 3 different colors on the fur, it has 2 colors on the fur, $1,500.
I will not forget about everything I raise rabbits.
Alright, so and that's just for the one rabbit, and that's a kit. So when you sell the rare breed of rabbits, you can make some good money, because I mean we're talking about that's about 5 times.
But that's just for pets.
Yeah, well, we don't really.
The meat, when you're cooking the meat, it don't taste different.
Nah, it don't taste different. There's no difference in the meat, but you generally won't want to eat $1,500 worth of
I see it might have gold in the meat or some kind of thing.
No. It's usually just for pets, right?
Alright.
Now, even if you don't want to go that route, there are, or maybe because I mean to get breeding stock to start with, you'll have to put out a fair amount of money, right? So even if you want to go more common breed of New Zealand's, now there are different color variations to the New Zealand rabbit. So you have New Zealand whites, which are the most common, will also be the cheapest, right? But if you have a New Zealand blue and New Zealand red, those two is still a New Zealand breed, but because of the difference in color, it costs more money. So you will make more money, right? So same rabbit, similar genetics, it's just the color variation, and you just made yourself a higher profit.
Alright. I'm thinking something, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't ask.
What do you think?
I was thinking something along the lines that if you dye your rabbit color.
Don't do that.
Dye fraud.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, we try to promote having integrity, okay? And it's something that you want to have a trustworthiness with your clientele. So don't dye your rabbit, please.
It was just a wild thought.
Don't do that. Ignore what he just said, okay? So the first 3 points that we raised were selling kits, selling breeders, and selling rare breeds, right? We will consider that livestock. You sell them live. There's one other way you can sell live animals so that you don't have to slaughter, and that's by selling fatteners.
Fatteners.
Fatteners are what we call growths. It is rabbits that you intend to raise to slaughter. So they're gonna have you don't intend to keep them past the 4-month mark. Generally, fatteners you would slaughter by the time they reach 5 pounds live weight. Generally, 3 to 4 months max. You'll never keep a rabbit for past 4 months.
Alright, so you're fattening them to kill them?
That's what it is, right? So fatteners. So what you can do if you don't want to slaughter, you can breed rabbits and you can start selling them by the time you could start selling them, try to sell them before they reach the 5 pound mark, or you can sell them at the 5 pound mark if it is your guaranteed the sale when they reach the 5 pounds. If you're not guaranteed, try selling them before 5 pounds. So start advertising by the time they reach, say, 3 months, and say they'll be ready in the next to slaughter within a month, something along those lines, to ensure that by the time they reach 5 pounds, you can get them out the door and make your money. So you can sell them to somebody who's going to slaughter the rabbits themselves, and you don't have to take in that cost. So you're just going to raise them for 3 months at least, maximum. Let's say you raise them for 3 months and they're out the door, and you breed a next set and you keep going like that. So you sell fatteners, you don't have to slaughter. They're going towards meat, but you are not supplying meat to the market. You are just supplying the animal as they are while they're still breeding. Right? So those 4 will be considered live sales. They're also not live sales, on live, dead sales. Right? So that is point number 5 of rearing rabbits for money. Sell the meat. Right? Something raising rabbits, I think that's the first thing I would think about, because I produce rabbits for the meat industry, so that's the first thing that will come to my mind, is selling the meat. Right? Of course, at this point it means that you would have raised your rabbits for no more than 4 months. If you have good quality breeders, that could be 2 to 3 months, they would have reached the 5 pound mark. Right? So you would have produced your rabbits and they have attained a desirable meat weight, and you slaughter them. You clean them. Now in Trinidad we do either skinned or roasted rabbits. The preparation, if you can do a bit of both. So you do half skinned, half roasted. If you have customers who are telling you exactly what they want or how they want it, you can do that to cater specifically for them. So basically, you're selling the meat, you would slaughter, you clean it, you package it, and you get it out your door as meat. Okay? But that's not all. That is not all. We also have a few other ways you can make money aside from the rabbit itself. You could raise rabbits, but you don't have to sell rabbits to make money.
Please enlighten us.
Alright, so point number 6. You can sell rabbit manure and urine.
I guessing that would come along the lines of manure sort of something.
Yeah. So rabbit manure. Rabbits produce what is considered cold manure. There are a few animals who produce cold manure, and I will explain. I'll explain. There are a number of animals that produce cold manure. Rabbits is just one, right? In terms of farmed animals, the only 2 that I know of are goats and rabbits that produce cold manure. So what a cold manure means is the manure, as it breaks down, as it decomposes, it releases the nutrients at a slower rate. So it's not gonna burn your plants. So for instance, something like chicken manure or duck manure, you will never use those types of manure directly on your plant as soon as it is excreted.
You would leave it, let it.
Right.
Some time.
Yes, you have to leave it to break down. Say, I believe it's at least 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. You have to let that break down. If you attempt to use it before it reaches that point, you will end up burning your crops. Right? Rabbit manure on the other hand, as well as goat manure, but we're talking about rabbits. Rabbit manure on the other hand, as soon as it is excreted, you can apply it to your plants and you don't have to worry about it burning your plants.
Okay.
Because it's a cold manure, right?
Okay.
Now, you'll mostly hear people talking about manure, but they could also sell the urine. Urine could be used both as a fertilizer and a nutrient source for your plants, as well as a natural pesticide.
Natural pesticide.
Natural pesticide. However, unlike the manure where you could use it directly, you can't use the urine directly because the urine,
it will be too strong?
it is too strong, so it has a higher concentration of nutrients. So if you attempt to use the urine directly, that is where you'll burn your plant. So you'll want to dilute that with water, a 5:1 ratio, 1 part urine, 5 parts water, and then you could apply it. You can foliar spray your plants with this. Of course, people will be skeptical about using it on things like leafy vegetables and stuff like that, right? People will be skeptical. I mean, if you're doing it for yourself, fine, but you don't. It doesn't have to be foliar. You could apply it to the soil. You could do it for things like the plantains, say like more tree crops, you know, where you're not eating the leaves. Tomatoes, melon, that type of stuff. You're never going to consume the leaf of the plant, so you'll be fine.
That's sounding more acceptable.
Yeah, I thought so too. There is also a way that you could ferment the urine.
One time as they say ferment, I started to think wine.
We're not drinking this.
Well, I'm just making sure.
We're not drinking it. But there is a way that you could ferment the urine to add more nutrients to it, so that when you do apply it to your crops, you get a higher boost from it. But that's something you would have to experiment with and to look into more for yourself. Fermenting the urine, and there are things like you have to be like 2 weeks, a 2-week fermentation process before you can apply it to your crops. So that is something that you could look into. You can look to sell the urine. You could use it on your crops as well too. But it's an avenue for sale as well. You can sell urine as a natural fertilizer and pesticide all combined into one. And you never touch a rabbit. Right? Alright, so aside from that, there is another method that you could use to make money that I don't think a lot of people look into, and that's selling the fur. After you've slaughtered a rabbit, especially if you're raising for meat, when you slaughter the rabbit, you're going to have the fur. If you skin the rabbit, you will have the fur that is left back. That fur can be used to make things like belts, wallets, hats, shoes, anything that you would basically be able to use animal skin for.
But to me, the animals that I'm accustomed to hearing that people use the skin, it would be sheep or alligator, that kind of thing. But rabbit, this is definitely something new.
That is an avenue. In Trinidad, however, I am not personally aware of anyone that does it. Okay, but if you know someone who does or who has a capability of doing that, you can sell them the fur. You would of course have to learn how to preserve the fur so that when they come to purchase it, it is still intact, right? And the properties of it, the qualities of it are maintained.
So we're giving you all an idea. This definitely is a bonus.
It is
right?
a bonus.
If you get innovative enough, you could make money, you could create something that people don't have in Trinidad, or by extension, the world.
And
right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, they sell it in other places in the world. In Trinidad, however, I don't know anyone who does. So if it is that something that interests you, definitely look into it. You could start it. That there are a lot of rabbit farmers who will willingly would like to get rid of the fur. So that's something that we don't have to look to discard, and we will. I mean, if you're buying it from farmers, we make a little extra money. It's a win-win. We'll all make a little something extra, right? So there's one more method of making money rearing rabbits. You don't necessarily have to rear rabbits, but you can rear rabbits for this last method. We're talking value added. Value added. What are your thoughts?
Value added tax.
No. No. Alright, so when I say value added, I mean, okay, for instance, we were just speaking about selling the fur to people who make craft items. right? That is value added. If you already rear rabbits, especially if you rear rabbits for the meat industry, you will always have fur.
Something else that could make money.
Right, you can
that
instead
you're not going to use.
Exactly. So instead of discarding the fur, you save the fur. So you sell meat, and if you're a crafty person, you can also make craft item, clothing items with the rabbit fur. So you just added another product to your own line and just added value to something that you already have, something that you would have discarded anyway. So you just made some more profit, just like that. By simply not discarding something you would have already discarded, right? Aside from that, you can also add value to the meat. Now, generally as farmers, of course, we already have a lot of work. We don't want to add extra work to it. But if you would like to add the extra work into the meat and get more profit, get more money, one of the avenues you can take is adding value to your meat. For instance, something as simple as pre-cooking the meat. If it is, instead of just slaughtering the rabbit, throwing it in a bag and selling the meat carcass as it is just as meat, if you sell pre-cooked, you advertise it as pre-cooked meat, you have already added value by cooking the meat. It doesn't have to be fully cooked. It could be more along the lines of par-cooked meat, but you sell it as pre-cooked. You could probably include it's half-cooked or however you decide to advertise it, but by simply doing that, you have already added value to your meat, and of course you're going to add an extra cost to it, and you're looking at a higher profit margin, right?
But you most definitely will have to state that it's pre-cooked or what have you.
Absolutely.
Because people will naturally just go by, because I'm seeing a rabbit selling for this price and that price, and when they come by you, they see your price, it's a little bit up there.
Right.
And they would want an explanation, I guess.
Yeah, that is definitely true. The benefit of that, doing that as well too, there are a lot of people, okay, when I say a lot, it may not be a lot, but a lot of the people I speak to don't know how to prepare rabbit meat. They think it takes some kind of special preparation, they don't know what to do, when in fact, you treat rabbit like you would treat any lean cut of chicken. So whatever dish you put chicken in, you could put rabbit, right? But by you cooking it, you already kind of take the question out of the preparation. If there's any special kind of preparation, you remove that doubt from their minds, and you've just added value in their mind in itself. You've added value of, okay, so it's pre-cooked, which means I don't have to do any special kind of thing with it. They're not gonna have to think too hard about what to do with it, right? So you've just done something. Something else as well too, you can also add value, not by doing anything extra in terms of physical work, but in terms of your marketing. What I mean by that is rabbit meat is a healthier type of meat compared to, say, chicken or pork. So there are a lot of people who have health issues would turn to eating rabbit meat for the health benefits of it.
Definitely, I have a question.
What's the question?
What makes rabbit meat so much healthy?
Okay, healthier. Yeah, so rabbit meat, it is low in cholesterol, it's low in sodium. Generally, people who rear rabbits don't use antibiotics, so you're generally guaranteed of eating meat that is free from antibiotics. And there you'll find a lot of farmers who include forages, and they'll include parts of the natural diet of their rabbits. So it's a closer to natural, not 100%, because we still use some portion of concentrate, right? It also has a higher protein content than something as simple as chicken.
Okay.
Right? So you're looking at people who are health conscious people, athletes, people who have diabetes, hypertension, who have high cholesterol, but they don't want to completely eliminate meat from their diet. You advertise rabbit meat.
So most definitely, if you find the information was very useful today and handy, because I believe we getting some power packing information today. Be sure to like, subscribe.
All right.